For House, we have a staff of 14 writers, and we needed to increase our numbers because the medical stories take so long to break. So in order to be able to deliver a script every 8 days, we need to have the machine cranking, and a lot of writers working in a lot of stories simultaneously.
The staff is we've divided into a bit of a pitching rotation, and so there's kind of two groups who are working simultaneously, and Russ and Garrett kind of help one group, and I help the other group kind of develop their outlines and their stories and help them when they're writing their scripts. There's a bit of a process that the writer writes a first draft, and then we help them, rewrite that draft, and then David helps us rewrite that draft, and they go through multiple rewrites.
Usually it takes probably about, I don't know, at least a month and a half, 2 months or something from like inception to like David Shore kind of signing off on it and saying, yeah, I like this idea, go develop it, and then the writer sort of developing it, and then one of us sort of then working with that person and rewriting the outline or whatever, and then finally getting that outline to the point where, okay, it's ready to go off and write a script. And then usually writing can turn out a script in a couple weeks, but then we keep rewriting it, so it's a process.
It takes 8 days or 9 days to shoot an episode and 2 months to write an episode. So at the beginning of the season, we have 2 months, and then it gets shorter and shorter, and by the end of the season, we're usually scrambling, partnering up writers, and maybe have, a week or 2 weeks to crank something out under a lot of pressure.
Fever, non-responsive to antibiotics and antipyretics, fluctuating consciousness. Go!
The hardest part's the medicine.
It's the medical stories, man. Plotting these medical stories takes so long, and it's like if you have a murder mystery, you can always just bring in a character or make up a motivation for whatever the husband and wife, and we're just so locked into these symptoms that can only be for certain diseases.
Could be a symptom, sense of impending doom.
Yeah, could be adrenal gland disorders, blood issues, anaphylaxis.
If you're gonna kiss his ass to protect your ass, at least wait until he's had a good idea.
We need to find a really cool disease that a genius diagnostician can't figure out immediately.
And that's the beginning.
But we can, and we don't know anything about medicine.
And they also start out, they usually come to us after they've been to 4 doctors and no one can figure out what it is. So they've had all the normal tests already, so we're starting from so deep in the story, and it's like, what do we do now?
Yeah.
A lot of phone calls, a lot of research, big piles of research like that to even get started. I feel like every new episode is like a going to med school.
Endocarditis.
Hemorrhagic lesions in the lungs and gut.
Bronchiolitis obliterans. He smoked his airways into oblivion.
Endocarditis.
I already said that.
I heard of it before you mentioned it.
Speed counts. Find something else.
And you learn so much about whatever particular disease it is, and could it possibly take this course, and could it possibly take that course? And there is a reality to them we try to stick to. Yes, it could, theoretically, it's been documented, it has taken this course, we stick to that.
Okay, kidney failure, aspiration, fainting, go.
Kidney failure could be the result of a gram-negative bacteria. Our patient wears a catheter full time. It virtually guarantees bacterial infection.
Which could have migrated up to his kidneys. Infection stresses his already weakened system, makes his SMA worse. That explains the choking and fainting.
Put him on an IV Ampagent.
And then you get through the end and you have to start another episode, and you just have to flush your brain of everything to be able to start that process over again.
Come on, gotta earn that fiber.
In addition to the challenge of figuring out how to hide the disease, we then need to have these scenes where 4 intelligent doctors are spitting out possibilities that are not correct, but could plausibly be correct.
Lupus would explain.
Maybe she didn't change.
Are you agreeing with me, or are you making a point?
I'm making a point.
The reason we go to lupus so often is because it could plausibly fit a lot of different symptoms.
Life is messy argument, nice. Explains everything without explaining anything.
It always fits that tiny window of being plausible yet wrong that we need 4 separate scenes of in the show, with each doctor saying something intelligent in one of those scenes.
No, just treat for amyloidosis.
Yeah, I think amyloidosis is the new lupus. That seems like to be in.
I think so.
every
I
episode.
think so too.
That's a t-shirt.
Yeah.